Okay, the last bit of our QMS systems is quality control. And quality control, depending on the industry, you all have your own quality control tools. Okay, so quality control is we call it QC. So besides monitoring, you are also identifying. You're trying to do first, of course, the rectification action. So if we see QC, we want to make sure that the word QC is about, most of us will see as make things better. You know, things not good, you want to make it better. So you control. So you want to make sure that everything is back to its original baseline, for example. So when we set it up, you know, to do this particular work in certain ways, and if it doesn't fulfill it, so you want to, QC is about bringing it back to the original track. Okay. And unfortunately, that is what we see most of the time. We do not see that about identifying the root causes of problem. And with audit, it helps you to identify the root causes of problem. Okay. And okay, before I finish up, before I go on, I also want to mention in audits also many times it involves documents. So document audits is what this new age of quality management systems are looking at also, because we want to make sure that we have evidences. It's about the word now is about evidences. So you keep a lot of evidences. So make sure that auditing also not only on the data itself, but also on the documents. So don't forget about documents auditing. And yeah, so that's all I want to remind you all. Documents auditing means that, you know, if you need to have checklists, you have checklists, where you keep the checklist and what you need to write down the processes and sign by who, you know, that sort of thing. So all the documents needs to be compiled properly and not one pieces here or one pieces there, you see. So back to QC, like I said, most of our first navigation would be about control. Okay, it's about making things better, making things going back to the original track. But this other part of it is actually about eliminating causes, eliminating problems, root causes of problem, identifying and eliminating. And this is the part that many of us, especially in the construction industry, are not very aware of. And in the manufacturing, yes, production, yes, you are into root causes. You know, you want to find out what is the reason behind the consistent happening of the points out of the control. You see, so first, a good control system is you have to know what to control. So you need to know, you know, like when we mentioned just now in the QA systems, you actually know which part of the work you must control. So then you set down that as a whole point. You know, that particular point is a whole point. So select what to control means that you select your checkpoint. You see, you select your checkpoint, or you select your whole point. You know, if you can't pass this checkpoint or can't pass this whole point, you don't let the work pass, or you don't let the material, or you don't let the machineries, or you don't let the laborer workmanship pass. You see, go through to the next stage. You stop it. So that's what we normally would do. You see, then we set standards. Okay, so then once you know which whole point, which checkpoint, then you set the standards. So these are the acceptance criteria. These are the testing that needs to be done. Establish the measurement method, and then compare the actual result with the standards, you know, and then looking at the conformance, looking at the patterns, looking at the documentation of the processes. So yeah, besides that, you also need to calibrate your devices, meaning that if you're doing, because like I said, you know, engineering, we do a lot of measurements. So measurement needs a lot of measuring devices, and measuring devices are usually needs to be monitored and calibrated. So all these are part of good quality control systems. And then how frequently you collect the data, and that goes back to the monitoring. So from there, QC is accepted as a measurement or characteristic of an item or a process to determine conformance. So if it's not conforming, then we will first of course is we need to solve the problem. We need to make sure that problems are solved, and therefore we need to do rectification action. But on a deeper level, it is not only about examination and inspection. It is not about bringing things back to track, but also looking at what are the root causes of the problem. I think that is the purpose of QC, that we all should not miss out. It should not be missing from our QMS, our quality management system. So quality program, you need to have QP, QA, QC, okay? And these are what we call the cycle of quality control. And then also quality control, we want to make it for further future improvement as well. So quality control has a number of dimensions, like what I say to you. First, it is about rectification. It's about data collection. Then it's also about analysis of data. It's also about finding root causes. So in fact, if there's a variances that crop up, first of all, we of course take the corrective action, and then we want to check the root causes. Okay, and then do improvement. That is the purpose, continuous improvement, so that we will not only be stuck at this level of quality, it will be further level. You will go up another level, and this circle here are very common now. When we initiate, you need to know what are the you need to know the standards and all that, and then after that you need to know how to collect data, okay, and then analyze the data with different type of tools. Again, these are different types of tools that is required to study data. And then yes, first reaction is always corrective actions, but when you have enough of data, okay, when you have enough of data, you will be able to do some form of you need to do some form of cause and effect analysis. You see, there's two aspects here. First aspect is about whether the data collected, like whether you have an out, like it can be control charts, it can be checklist, tally sheets, and then it can be data reductions, data collections. These are all about numbers that you collect to look into whether there is anything that is off the chart, you see. Control chart, any variances that is off the chart, and then we do corrective actions. But then if you have enough data, you will start to go into cause and effect analysis. And cause and effect analysis, there are many types of tools, to do that. Fishbone diagram, scatter analysis, field force diagram, these are all quality control tools. Quality control tools, I will list down some of the quality control tools. Some of it is about reading the data, presenting the data. Some of it is about cause and effect. Some of it is about mostly is about this tool, like cause and effect, and some of it is just like showing the variances, to quickly show you the variances. Like for example, this will be showing the variances. This will be showing the cause and effect. This will be showing the variances. This will be showing the variances as well. And also trend analysis can also help you to see trending causes of problem as well. This is the trending pattern. It happens all the time, at this hour. So then you need to identify the causes. Cause and effect with fishbone, that is very, very common. Okay, Pareto is definitely what we call analysis that is based to look at variances. Data table is always about variances. How to do all this? I believe, if I'm not wrong, there will be other topics under the other lecturers, like Dr. Shelley. They will be going through all this with you. Okay, and these are the typical 7 quality control tools. See, these are what I mentioned: identification of variances and analysis of the causes. So some of these things are analysis for causes. Some of these are actually more into identification of the variances. And there are some that are in the middle that it can do both. Okay, so I think this is what I had explained just now. And statistical method, of course, is very, very common. Statistical method is a very big thing in the way in QC, QA, QC. So this one basically is going to be covered by Dr. Shen Li. Okay,